Political activist and streamer Hasan Piker was banned from Twitch after saying if Republicans cared about ending Medicaid fraud, they would kill Florida Senator Rick Scott. Not only did Piker seemingly confirm that this is what he was banned for, but he tried to play the free speech card as well, which we will get into, and how he does not have the free speech to say what he actually said. And Twitch was indeed right to ban him. So let's get into this. Wrote this up over at fandompulse.com. It was reported earlier today by X account streamer bans that Piker was banned. They wrote Twitch partner Hassan Abi has been banned. And then if you click their site, it goes to his ban history, etc. He was banned back in December as well. So this isn't his first ban. It's unclear how long the ban will be. I know that there have been reports that it is a temporary ban. So we'll see how long he is banned from Twitch. But the ban came in the wake of Piker reacting to House of Representatives Speaker Mike Johnson discussing his plans to cut out fraud, waste, and abuse from Medicaid and Medicare. A clip from his stream was shared to X by Brad Palumbo, and Piker reacted to Speaker Mike Johnson's plan, saying that fraud is not coming from individuals, it's coming from providers. They're not tackling providers. They're not actually going after their false billing. They are trying to cut recipients. It is not happening at the point of recipients. So I don't know whether or not he is telling the truth there. I haven't looked into any of that, and as far as I'm concerned, that isn't what I'm trying to do right here. That isn't the purpose of this video, whether or not what he's saying is true or not, or what Speaker Mike Johnson is saying is true or not. This is what I'm really talking about, because this is what he adds right here. If you cared about Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott. You wouldn't make Rick Scott, former governor of Florida, Rick Scott, you wouldn't make him the current. Then he goes on and looks up Rick Scott and what his role is and everything like that. And he goes on and says, the reason why I'm saying is if you cared about Medicare or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott is because, and not make him a prominent part of the Republican Party, is because to this day, he is still also known as committing the largest Medicare fraud in U.S. history. So he literally says that Republicans should kill Rick Scott twice. And he says it in a very short time frame there between the first comment and the second comment. He then appeared to confirm that the reason he was banned from Twitch was due to his comments about Rick Scott. He posted this on X a couple of hours ago saying, I'm sorry, I'll choose my words carefully next time and say if Mike Johnson cares about Medicare fraud, since he wants to cut $800 million from Medicaid, Medicare, he'd call for max punishment for current Florida GOP Senator, former Governor Rick Scott, who has done the most Medicare fraud in U.S. history. He then defended his actions, or accused Republicans of being against free speech and celebrating his ban by saying, big shout out to the right-wing free speech lovers who took time out of their day screwing about DEI and immigrants to cry about this. So first off, let's get to this argument about free speech. He's absolutely and utterly wrong about free speech. And unfortunately, much of our society has been psyoped into buying into this libertarian, liberal idea of free speech that you can just say whatever you want to say, and there are no consequences for it. This is utterly absurd and ridiculous on a number of levels. Dr. Edward Fazer explains the right to freedom of speech is, more precisely, the right to speak the truth and to uphold the good. This clearly entails some limits on the right to free speech. There can be no right under natural law to speak lies or to promote evil, since that would be directly contrary to the end for which the right to free speech exists. He then goes on and makes clear that there are certain limits of free expression, and he points out the most obvious. There can be no right to speak in a way that causes immediate, grave, and irreparable harm to an innocent person, such as by unjustly destroying the person's reputation or threatening bodily harm or death. So it's very obvious that that is exactly what Hasan Piker was trying to do when he was using this hypothetical that Republicans should kill Rick Scott, especially when we've seen multiple assassination attempts against President Donald Trump, and we've seen a lot of assassination attempts against political leaders over the last couple of years. One remembers the assassin who attempted to gun down multiple congressmen at a baseball field outside Washington, D.C., doing significant harm to a number of them. Senator Rand Paul has also been attacked in his backyard, etc. We've seen lots of attacks motivated by politics, and I think that is exactly what Hasan Piker was trying to do here, no matter what he is trying to say. I think the implication in the original clip here, if you want to watch it for yourself, it's very clear that is what he is doing. So Twitch is indeed right to ban him because he does not have the right to threaten bodily harm or death on anyone. That is not part of free speech or free expression. It is evil, it is wrong, and it should be limited. And Twitch took the right actions against that. As for Rick Scott, he did run HCA Inc., which was formerly known as Columbia HCA and HCA, the healthcare company. According to the Department of Justice, back in 2003, the company agreed to pay the United States $631 million in civil penalties and damages arising from false claims the government alleged it submitted to Medicare and other federal health programs. The Justice Department announced today this $631 million was on top of $840 million in criminal fines, civil restitution, and penalties resulting from a guilty plea to criminal conduct in December 2000 by HSA subsidiaries. So just to be clear, that did not involve Rick Scott. It's HCA subsidiaries. Furthermore, HCA paid an additional $250 million to resolve overpayment claims arising from certain of its cost reporting practices. In total, HCA and its subsidiaries had been fined $1.7 billion. Scott was never charged with any crime, but he left the company after it was raided by federal authorities back in 1997. In an interview with Fox and Friends just last May, Scott indicated the Department of Justice's actions against Columbia HCA was political persecution. Commenting on charges against President Donald Trump, he said, "By the way, I saw this. It happened to me. I fought Hillary Care, and guess what happened when I fought Hillary Care? Justice came after me and attacked me and my company." So that was what he was saying just last year. However, you go back to 2010 when he was running for governor of Florida. He said this in a political ad. This was reported by the Miami Herald. He said, "I was in charge and even questioned by authorities, but that's not what matters. What matters is that the company made mistakes, and as CEO, I take responsibility and learn from it." So you can argue maybe there's some politicking going involved there. There's some PR talking points happening, but obviously the company was fined $1.7 billion by the Department of Justice. However, we live in 2025 now. We know the Department of Justice is utterly corrupt. We know that much of the federal government is utterly corrupt, and I don't think it was it didn't happen overnight. So it's possible that it could be corrupt there too. Haven't really looked into it, and probably am not going to look into it. I'm more interested in him here trying to play free speech after he got banned when he clearly does not have the right to wish bodily harm or threaten death against someone. It's absolutely sick. It's absolutely disgusting. And Twitch was right to ban him. And I hope the ban is significant because this is a significant thing that he did, and he should pay the consequences. And maybe a little bit more than a Twitch ban should be warranted for what he has done here, because he is so flippant about it and clearly doesn't really show any remorse, as noted here in this post that he posted to X. But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, and to always, always speak the truth.